Alright, welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's video. The video you all been waiting for is my custom PC build, my first ever actually custom PC build. Before this, I was running a 10-year-old Dell PC that was like pre-built, and then I got all these hand-me-downs from my brother. So I never really got a full custom PC that I built for myself. Before I actually get into the video of showing you guys the desk setup and the complete build, let me first introduce myself. My name is Terry. If you are new to this channel, welcome. If you do enjoy tech and you like fitness, and I'm a personal trainer myself, if you need help with your fitness goals, this is a channel for it. And also, I'm gonna do some tech unboxing, tech videos like this, where I kind of share my experience with tech products and pretty much show you guys my thoughts and opinions about certain tech products out there. I'm gonna go over the list, the parts I actually use for the PC, because I know some people are gonna want to try to emulate this build, or if you want to build something similar for yourself. So we're on PC part picker. This is a list of everything that I use for this PC. This is just the list of the PC itself. There's no peripherals in here, but I will show them at the end of the video when I do the whole review of the desk setup. With the processor, we are using the AMD 5600X. Now, in my opinion, I think this is the best processor out there right now for the money. I don't do any high edit videos where I'm doing 4K. If you're lucky and you can get your hands on one, this is great. But right now, like you see here, they are out of stock. These are not easy to come by, and it took me a couple tries to go to Micro Center to actually pick one up myself. Okay, so the next thing, let's go over CPU cooler. So the CPU cooler that I'm using is my first ever AIO. Before this, I was just using regular fans. So I'm using the Corsair H115i RGB Platinum. The next thing here is the motherboard. So the motherboard I went with, originally I was going for the B450 gigabyte motherboard, the Auroras. However, that open box motherboard, it wasn't functioning properly because I actually picked up an open box trying to save some money, and it ended up not working. So I actually returned that motherboard and went with this MSI B550. And it's actually gonna pair up well because my graphics card that I picked up is also an MSI graphics card. So I decided, why not? Let's go for a motherboard that's gonna match the graphics card. The next part we go over the RAMs. I did go with Corsair once again, and I went with Corsair because I can control all the RGB. So being able to control the RGB is why I went with the Corsair Vengeance. 16 gigs right here is all you need. So unless you're doing some type of high productivity work, there's no need for you to go to 32 gigs in my opinion. 16 gigs is all you need, especially if you're gaming, doing some light editing like I am. This is completely fine. For memory, I did not go with the M.2. I just went with my original drives that I had before on my last PC. So it was just an SSD. So the video card that I picked up was an actual open box. So I saved some money on this, and we tested this out. My brother and I, we tested this out before putting this into the PC to make sure. I did go with the 3060. I was lucky enough to get this at a about $407 price point. I saved about $100 there. And also, I think it's a great looking card. I know not everyone likes MSI, but this card in general, it's one of the better performing 3060 Ti's out there. And the reason why I didn't go with a 3080 or even a 3090 is because games I play are not high demanding. So let me show you right here on the desktop. See the games I play: World of Warcraft, and I play Valorant. All right, those games do not require you to have a 3080 or 3090. So I'm not playing anything with high graphics. I'm not playing Cyberpunk, so it doesn't require me to have such a high demanding graphic card in order to run the game at a high settings. Now, if I do decide to play those games in the future, it might be an issue, but I don't plan on doing so. And if I do play those games, I could probably run it right now on this graphics card completely fine. It just wouldn't be at the highest setting possible. Okay, so let's go over the case. This case is the case that I'm rocking with, Be Quiet 600 ATX. Now, this case is supposed to be a very quiet case, and I'll tell you right now, it is very quiet. This case is freaking amazing when it comes to making your PC sounds like it's not even running, because right now my PC is right behind this monitor and you cannot hear it at all. So in terms of the power supply, we also went with a Be Quiet power supply. My brother recommended me this as well because they're known for quiet things, as you can tell by their name, Be Quiet. And to finish off, the monitor that I'm actually looking at right now is this monitor right here, the Asus Tough Gaming. So it's a 170 hertz monitor, and these monitors are quite expensive, but it's definitely worth the investment if you are an FPS player. So if you're an FPS player, you like to play first person shooters, you like to be competitive, this is probably a must. Well, at least get a 144 hertz monitor. It's going to make a big difference when it comes to reactionary scenarios where you could see the person. So if you enjoy competitive shooters, I think at least the minimum of 144 hertz monitor is a must. So before you actually consider getting a monitor like this, or even a 144 hertz monitor, make sure your computer can handle 144 frames per second while you're playing the game, and it's stable at around 144 frames, or even a little higher to be safe, on the safer side. Or else there's no point. Of getting a 144 hertz monitor or even 170 hertz monitor like I have here if your computer is not capable of giving you 144 frames per second. So these are all the components within my PC. So if you do want to use this and build something similar for yourself, I'll leave a link down in the description for you to do so. As you can see, the total comes out to about $1728, and now if you do remove the monitor, it comes down to a bit lower. There's no price for the CPU yet, so the CPU price is not added in there, just to be aware of that. And the hardest parts are going to be unavailable or just out of stock right now. It's going to be your GPU and your CPU. So here's some footage of me putting the PC together. As you can see, these are the parts that I use. I'm no expert when it comes to PC building. There's a ton of experts out there. Please refer to them. So when it came to the actual cooler, I had no idea how to set up. I actually had to look for YouTube videos. My first time using an AIO, and they're a little harder to set up in comparison to an actual fan that you typically use in a computer. So before I show you the new setup, this was the old setup I was rocking with. I couldn't change the color green out of there because it wouldn't match. The keyboard itself had to be green. That's the only color it came in when it came to RGB. And this was a black and green setup, as you can see here. Cable management was terrible down there, as you saw. So this is the new setup. As you can see, it's not a green and black setup. I actually went with just a colorful RGB setup. I could change the colors in the future because the lights are automatically controlled by the program, so I can change it to a different color if I like to. And I actually put the case up on top on the table to collect less dust. The whole PC, you can see all the components and parts in it with the tempered glass, and the case itself is very open spaced. As you can see, this background here, I went with a colorful rainbow. Same thing with the keyboard. This is the Corsair K70 keyboard with the silver MX Cherry silver switches. So I'll do a review of the peripherals in the future. As you can see, I do have the glorious mouse, the new keyboard, and the cable management is a lot better, as you'll see in a little bit right here. So the cable management down below is just a lot better. I actually bought some stuff from Amazon, tied it all up, and made it a single cable down there. So it's not as cluttered, and it looks clean, and there's no cables hanging out everywhere like my old setup. Now there are cables in the back, so an upgrade I'll probably do in the future is just get monitor arms, so I could prop these monitors up and I can have more space on the table, and I can actually rotate the monitors without having to lift up the whole monitor and readjusting the positioning. Okay, so that is the complete desk setup and the PC build. If you do want a list of the parts that I use, like I said, is down below. Feel free to get that PC part picker list and get yourself this PC build up if you can find the parts, of course. So I'll probably be making changes to this in the future, and if I do get that monitor arm, I'll show you guys how it looks in comparison to just having these monitors without the monitor arm. So I hope I can do more of these in the future, whether it be for myself or for someone else, and I could do these recordings and just show you guys the process of building a desk setup, because I think it's freaking cool and it's freaking awesome to be able to have your own personal workspace or gaming space and desk setup. So if you did enjoy that video, please give me a thumbs up. That's going to help this YouTube channel a lot, and also the YouTube algorithm, of course. And if you do want to consider subscribing down below for future tech videos, fitness videos to help you with your fitness goals, be sure to do that. And I'll catch you guys next time. This is T signing off. See you guys in the next video.